Good afternoon, everyone. This is Russell Farbiars with another edition of Not Minding My Own Business. I have with me Katherine Ketter from is it Health Partners.
Health Partners plans.
Yeah. So, welcome, Katherine. I think you go by Kat, though. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, Kat. Well, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. This is great to finally meet you in person.
Yes, yes. So, Kat, you want to tell me a little bit about what you do and what Health Partner Plans does?
Yep. So Health Partners Plans is a nonprofit managed care organization, and we serve both Medicare Advantage, Medicaid, and the CHIP population. So providing services and insurance to those populations. So I am the director of customer experience, and my job is varied. It's really my role to make sure that we are providing a great experience to our members, our providers, fellow employees, and then community organizations. I've been in healthcare operations for about 20 years, so a lot of work done in community outreach, clinical outreach, and then telephonic engagement as well.
Okay. So customer experience, that's sort of a broad area, and it sounds like you have not only um, your not only you know traditional customers in the sense of people buying your policies, but you also have providers. So how does the experience vary between the two?
Yeah, so I think that's a great question. CX is kind of a new buzzword. If you see on LinkedIn, there's lots of companies hiring for customer experience. And, I think it's been more of a focus, and what we found during COVID for businesses of all types, whether you're in healthcare or you're not, is that members and patients were increasingly expecting greater service. But when it came time to survey and tell people what they thought, they were actually rating the company lower or the services they were getting as lower. So less satisfied, but expecting more. So, for us, it's really making sure members are getting what they need when they call, that they're getting that responsive kind of communication, that, we are the most trusted health plan in the marketplace, because when members call us, they get exactly what they expect. With providers, it's the same thing. So we contract with providers of all types, whether that's skilled nursing facilities, primary care facilities, specialists. And so we make sure that they're able to submit a claim timely. When they call us, that they get an expedited review of whatever issue is plaguing them. And then also, we work with Medicare brokers in the community and community organizations. So we want to have really strong ties with our community partners. Again, the same type of experience we're providing to the members. We want it to be a seamless transition. And I think, also with customer experience, it's providing that immersive experience that you get when you go to Chick-fil-A or when you are going to a Disney. It's not just that you can call a business, but you can reach them through chat or email. There's an option where people can say, "Hey, Alexa, tell me more about what this company provides." So that's really what my focus is trying to make sure that regardless of who you are, whether it's the UPS delivery man that's entering our building or it's a member trying to get information, they're all getting that same kind of immersive experience.
Okay, so it sounds like it's about being able to sort of meet the client where they are, the customer where they are, in terms of uh, providing the experience. Has that been a result of your experience during the pandemic, or is this something that was begun before that?
I think it's been something that a customer always wants. They always want that white glove customer service. And for us, it was trying to figure out what did good look like and what did great look like. But, regardless of what kind of business you are, you don't just want to be great. You want to be world class. You want to be going the extra mile for the people that you're serving. But I think with the pandemic, everything shifted. So, a lot of businesses started to operate remotely. They had to figure out how to use technology differently, how to offer these different options of chatbots and texting and being able to make your appointments online. That's something that I think a lot of businesses are still trying to figure out. So if you've always been brick and mortar, or you've always kind of done a business, out of a physical space, now we're looking at virtual spaces, but also giving people that option to meet us where they are is, using chat, using text. And then from the provider perspective, when, doctors and physicians are trying to kind of go above and beyond, it's making sure that there's extended office hours and that members and patients can make those appointments through any way that they wish to. And then, of course, getting that great customer service.
Okay. Now, when you say customer experience, I assume you mean customer experience. You mean customer service, or
Customer service.
what we used to call customer service, but now, as you describe it, you're creating this immersive experience. What else do you do in terms of making sure that your company has a good overall reputation?
So I think it is, being out there in the community, we take branding very seriously and we want to be a great partner to people. And part of what we do is, meeting people wherever and whenever they need us. So it's being present at community events and also incorporating surveys. That's something I think a lot of businesses aren't doing, is going out to that event, maybe doing a 4 or 5 question survey about really anything that's relevant. For us, it might be, what are the benefits that you find most attractive? What are benefits that you're using? What was the experience like at today's event? And then also focusing on those health equity issues, like, do you trust your physician? Are you having trouble affording fresh fruits and vegetables? Are you having a trouble making the bills? So, doing a lot of surveys, and what we do is we use QR codes. So we have the QR code on the table. The person comes up to the booth, they scan it after they've had an experience with us, and then we are getting that continual feedback. Same thing that we're very apparent on Google. So we started this year is responding to Google surveys. What I was looking at when I was looking at different businesses is a lot of businesses aren't responding to people that leave a review. And so we have some crafted responses that we use for both positive and negative reviews. And we use the person's name and say, "Hi, Russell, thanks so much for giving us this feedback. At Health Partners Plans, we pride ourselves on great customer service," because when you use your business's name, it automatically bumps your SEO up. So you are found more often in searches. And, with the Google reputation, it's really taking that feedback. And some people could be devil's advocate and say, well, if we ask people to leave us a review, it might be bad. And that's okay, because a business really needs both the good and the bad to assess what are they doing well and what should they be doing more of, or what should they be doing less of, and what are the needs of the person that they're really serving. So I think being able to be focused on continuous quality improvement and getting those pieces of survey and pieces of feedback, because otherwise it's a guessing game. And a lot of businesses will then guess on what their customer wants, what their member wants, and I think the feedback is really critical.
Absolutely. How often do you send out a survey for customer experience?
I mean, if we do one at an event, it's here and there. We may do select community events, and I may think about, okay, if it's a large Spanish fiesta, a survey doesn't work well. People want to come up, they want to experience the business, but then they want to move on. They may not have time to do a survey. So you really want to think about, when you're doing that survey out at an event, is it the best use? Are you going to have the time to actually talk to people? And then we do surveys throughout the year. So we have a large member survey that we do that's regulated by CMS, which is the Center for Medicaid and Medicare. And then we do member experience surveys as well. So again, really asking members, what are you struggling with navigating? And it could be even for a regular business with a customer. How do they experience your website? How do they experience your customer service? Are you doing kind of mystery shopping calls so that you do get the feedback and you experience it the way that a potential customer experiences it? So I think all of that has been really crucial for us, in focusing on, there's 3 C's that I find are really important in customer service. And the third one is customization. So it's using your preferred member's name or your preferred customer's name. And, if you have a CRM that you're incorporating that, you're asking the customer, what are the best hours to reach you? And what is your preferred method of communication? So, that's a lot of the things that we've been really focusing on this year to improve the perception of Health Partners Plans.
And then you talked about Google reviews. Do you have a regular campaign where you're asking for those reviews, or is it just sort of an ad hoc sort of system?
It's both. So we are present on the Google platform. We do ask people for reviews, and we have, responses that we put out on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn saying, if you've had an experience, please give us that feedback. I think where a lot of companies kind of fail is that they say, if you've had a great experience, but then they're not getting the feedback of things that they may need to improve on. So, and we're very regulated. We can't ask people to necessarily leave us good feedback or bad feedback. We have to just say, we'd like your feedback, but we do put posts on social media, and then in member newsletters, we send the Google survey out with the link and the QR code. And, we're always looking for more feedback. What happened immediately is when we started responding to reviews, we hadn't had any reviews in 5 or 6 months. We immediately had about 5, 4, and 5-star reviews. And, we had 1 or 2 that we had some work to do, but it showed that when you're responsive to the people that are using your business, they then want to leave the feedback. They want to give you the feedback. They want to interact with you and have that conversation.
That makes sense. I mean, in the legal industry, we have the same sort of conversation about do do you ask for feedback, and it's the responses have to be very generic because of privacy concerns. Especially if someone leaves a bad review, you really can't respond with any identifying information that isn't already in the post. So it's definitely an interesting area that I found. Do you ask for? Do you ask? Do you not ask? But it sounds like you are asking and getting a good feedback, I guess, on the work that you guys are doing.
Yeah, and I think when you have a customer that's leaving a review that's less than satisfactory, it's providing them, this is the way that you can contact us. We'd like to get more information. We'd like to make it right for you. And we're very much the same because of privacy and making sure that we're not asking a person, are you part of Medicaid plan? Are you part of Medicare? It's just
Right.
the script. Here's the information. And then if it's a provider, we do actually reach out to that provider directly and say, hey, we saw the review. We understand you're having some difficulties. Let's help you navigate those.
Right.
And then we do ask people to leave an updated review if their experience is now different or changed.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense to follow up in that way. Now, you mentioned a couple of social media channels. Uh, how do you use social media, and how does it help, both improve your customer experience and improve your reputation?
I think again with a insurance company like ours, where we are serving everyone from birth to the end of life, is everyone integrates differently, and we have some older adults who are very visible on their social media. We have some who may not use that. So I think when the business is looking at it, you have to kind of consider all the different avenues that people connect. So more of adult population, and of course kids and teens. It's great. They're using Twitter, they're using Instagram and Facebook. We don't use TikTok as much because all of our messages have to be approved by the federal and local government, and that takes some time. And so we can't do like lives and things of that nature. But we make sure again all of our messages are really member focused, and for us, it's making sure that it's words that the member understands. An example I always tell people is if you say PCP, a lot of members don't know that word, and it's primary care physician. So we might say provider or the doctor that you go to when you're not feeling well. But I think, we have to also understand in Pennsylvania, the average literacy level is 6th grade education. So where businesses fail is making things too complicated and then not going above to give all those different kinds of options. And then thinking about, also not everyone has internet access. We take that for granted, especially in a lot of our urban, suburban areas. There's still a lot of areas in PA that are very rural without internet access. My parents still have dial-up. So it's also thinking about like an online option may not always work for people. And then you are going to have to do some outreach and reach out to them by phone and meet them where they are. Maybe it's at the senior center, maybe it's at the library, but kind of understanding your population and what works best for them.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I practice in the northern part of Berks County, and so I definitely have some. There are definitely some areas where internet is not as accessible. I wouldn't say it's not available, but it's not as accessible. And so sometimes when we're in this the urban or suburban areas, we forget about these other places. Now, you're working with a population that's applying for you say Medicare Advantage and CHIP. Are you able to explain, and I don't want to cross any lines here, just a little bit about what a Medicare Advantage plan is?
So, a Medicare Advantage plan, we will serve people who are both eligible for Medicare because of age, or they may be eligible because of disability. And there's specific advantages that Medicare Advantage plans offer. I can't, because of regulatory things, go into all of those, but we work on making sure that our members are getting physical health and dental and behavioral health, and then offering different benefits. Every insurance company has to offer specific benefits, and some are greater than others, but things like connecting them to silver sneakers and making sure that they have all the resources for health coaching and, things of that nature. So that it's a little bit different than your straight Medicare. It does, again, give some more options to folks as they're aging in and out of the spectrum. And so we offer that, as well as we offer a Medicaid and a CHIP plan. And we're really excited right now because we're going through expansion for Medicaid. A lot of the health plans have an opportunity now to serve all the counties of Pennsylvania. And so as of September 1st, we're able to serve not just the Philadelphia area, but now Berks County and Lehigh Capital region, throughout, the rest of the state. So it's an exciting time for us.
Yeah, and I would say it's important that if someone is looking at a Medicare Advantage plan, that they want to talk to someone um, like yourself or one of your colleagues who really knows a lot about it, because am I right that there are certain plans that are available to older individuals, but those who are maybe born around 1953, 1954, the options are actually a little bit different, given some rules that were changed recently. So
Yeah.
it's always important, don't not to just go online and blindly pick, because there are differences between the different plans.
Yeah, and not to just pick what neighbor Jane has picked, or to make sure that it's a plan that works for you. What why I hear when we talk to members that are switching is sometimes people get allured by big benefits, but then they've never checked that their doctors that they're currently seeing are still in network. So that's a big factor, is making sure that you're still able to see the providers, that you can see a provider that's close to your home and who's familiar to you, rather than thinking about, well, they offer this vision benefit or this dental benefit that my current Medicare Advantage plan doesn't offer. And just like you said, it can't just be anyone that gives this kind of information. You have to be a licensed Medicare advisor. So either, Health Partners plans, we do have Medicare advisors as well. We work with Medicare brokers in the community, some who are, attorneys or insurance brokers of all types. But it's really important to do your homework. And again, be going on and looking at what are people saying about their experience with that health plan. What I found in doing a lot of research on Google is that most people will just sort reviews by those who have 4 stars or higher. So, you really want to do your research. You want to look at the good and the bad on everything. And you want to get that information from, again, a trusted advisor that can weigh all of your options for you.
What is what would you say is something about your industry that the average person isn't aware of?
I think that, insurance companies get a bad name because, at the bottom, at the end of the day, they do have to meet a bottom line, and they are a business, but it's also a business that's helping people. So I don't think that people really realize all of the things that we do to meet people where they are, make sure that they don't have housing concerns, or they tell us if there's violence in their neighborhood. And, in a lot of the major managed care organizations, we also put money from our bottom line back into the community. And I think, a lot of people don't realize that as well. So, we are doing community events. And we may be bringing people out for diabetes screenings and maybe providing vaccinations. So I think the thing people don't realize is that we really, at the crux of it, we want to meet people where they are. And, that's why I'm so passionate about CX, is making sure that people who, especially disadvantaged populations, get the same services, they get the same care that, people who have commercial plans can afford. So I think that's what's really important, is knowing that even though insurance companies are a business, we really are caring about the people that we serve.
Absolutely. And do you serve just, the Philadelphia area, all of Pennsylvania, or are you nationwide?
So we are just within the state of Pennsylvania right now. And currently we serve mainly Philadelphia for our Medicaid, only one zone in the Southeast. For Medicare Advantage, we do serve some of the counties in what they call the Lehigh Capital Zone, which is, Berks County and Lancaster and Lebanon. And with the expansion for Medicaid that's happening across the state, a lot of different managed care organizations, as of September 1st, will be serving the entire state. So that's what we're excited for. We're going to be having that opportunity to serve all of PA and not just Philly anymore. But, there's a lot of things happening down the pike, and we're just excited for all those opportunities.
Absolutely. And it'll be great for you to be able to expand. I want to take a few minutes to sort of take a step back and talk a little bit about you.
Yeah.
So how do you spend your time when you're not working?
So I believe that wellness at work begins with wellness at home. And it's one of the major kind of tenets of me, is making sure that I'm doing all those things to prioritize health. I actually had a heart attack at 36, and that was a wake-up call for me. I had a very stressful sales position, and that really made me think. I didn't know that women under 50 were the highest group for at risk for heart attacks and cardiac issues. So I really, up to that point, I was, fairly overweight. And so I made a lot of changes in my life. I had always made excuses like, I'm too old, my metabolism is too slow. And so I put a lot of kind of energy and time into proper nutrition and making sure that I'm getting that exercise, whether that's just being out in the sun for a couple minutes between conference calls, or that's making sure that we go on a walk, after dinner. So I think that's a lot of my tenet, doing morning meditation, using positive affirmations, and thinking about like where I want to be present and what I want to focus on. So today it was really important that I put all my energy into being present for, your podcast and preparing for it, and just thinking about what I wanted people to know. So that's really important to me. And I think personal development, listening to different podcasts, different ways that people think about things, and creating those mindfulness habits. So, that's kind of my forte, is making sure that even other staff members, we have that time. So, I block out an hour period for my employees, so they have a protected lunchtime. And regardless of what's happening, unless, a severe business need comes along, they are getting that development. Also when I have team meetings, if I have them every week, I may take the one that's every other week and say, you get 45 minutes to go do personal development, but you're going to report back to the team on what that was. So I think all of those things are what make the whole person. And for me, I want staff to be able to bring that whole person to work. I want to bring my whole person to work, and not be afraid of saying, well, I'm really into fitness, or I'm running a 5K, or I'm training for a marathon, but I don't want anyone to know about it. I want to bring that whole person.
I completely agree. And I encourage my employees the same way. I used to, if I find out an employee doesn't take their lunch break, I'm the one who comes and tells them they have to take it, because I want them to take that. I said, even if you want to go walk around the block, just get out of the office and do something that isn't work related. That way you come back and you're fresh.
Yeah.
So it is so important for people. Are you originally from the Berks County area?
Yep, I've lived here for my entire life, 41 years. And it's funny because I've worked in Philly, I've worked in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and I've always commuted from Berks County.
Wow.
Love it here. I think it's nice being in Berks because we're so close to all the other major cities. an hour to Philly, an hour to Harrisburg, an hour up north. And I just love the changing of the seasons and the fact that Berks feels very urban when you're in Reading, but then it's very rural when you're in Hamburg. It's just great.
Yeah, yeah, wonderful. Well, what is one of your favorite restaurants in the area?
Oh, so I live in West Reading and I'm a big fan of B2. I love West Reading because everything is walkable. So
Mhm.
there's tons of restaurants on the avenue, but B2 is one of our brunch favorites for my girlfriends and I, and it's one of my coffee favorites.
Well, wonderful. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
Um, but well, this has been great. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me this afternoon. What are what is the best way if anyone wants to reach out to you? How do they do that?
So LinkedIn is always my favorite, and it's Katherine Ketter on LinkedIn. You can also reach out to me by email, and it's just my first initial last name, so K Ketter at hpplans.com. But if you can't remember that, just go find me on LinkedIn, and I'd love to connect.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Kat, for being here.
Yeah, thank
Um,
you.
all right, and thank you to our listeners. This has been another episode of Not Minding My Own Business with Russell Farbiars.
Have a great day.